rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events. This is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. I am your host, Rick. So we're in the chat before the before the show kicks off, you know, during the countdown. But I try to open up at least Rumble, because Rumble allows you to do that. Rumble allows you to open up the room and the chat prior to actually streaming. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy Rumble, because Rumble allows us to do that. Well, anyway, my Rumble Whiskey Warrior P1s, they're all in there, and we're talking about different things. And, of course, the subject of doing a whiskey tour in Kentucky, which was something that we were starting to plan, but then Kentucky had some pretty bad flooding, and so we ended up postponing it for now. But, of course, it's coming back around to that time frame, and so now we're starting to think about doing it again. Obviously, we were going to have to get enough interest in order to make it worthwhile for everybody. Yes, Bourbon Trail is what it's called. But anyway, we were sitting there talking about that, and of course, one of the longtime Whiskey Warrior P1s, Bonnie, was mentioning that she wanted to run off to the winery with Mrs. Whiskey. So Mrs. Whiskey, even though her name is Mrs. Whiskey, she is a wine drinker. She's Italian. She loves wine. And I'll admit, I mean, I enjoy a glass of wine now and again as well. I mean, it happens. But yeah, you're right. We do need to get back on planning for that. So we're going to try and get that going, planning for it pretty soon here. But anyway, and there might even be, I mean, we're going to try and do like different types of events if we can. The overall lofty goal is to do basically a week-long kind of thing. Maybe not a week, like as in a full week, but sort of one of those things like a fly-in on a Monday, do events Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then fly out on Friday kind of idea. So that way you guys are home for the weekends and things like that. And, of course, there'll be live shows involved with that. And if we get enough interest, we will attempt to do that and hopefully make it worthwhile. Also planning on partnering with a couple of different, like TGRN as an example. There have been back-end discussions about that, partnering with them. So we'll see what happens. No promises, please, no promises. But lofty goals for this show. Lofty goals. All right, let's go ahead and kick things off for let's go ahead and get things kicked off. Tonight is the NJY Camps Girls Band. I think I finally got it right. And, of course, Outlaw Dogs isn't here. Okay, Outlaw Dogs isn't here, so she can't correct me. But anyway, the point being is the Outlaw Dogs submitted it, so it's the NJY Camps Girls Band who is up for tonight for the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you are of mine, please stand, remove your hat if you're wearing one like me. Place your hand over your heart and join along with the NJY Camps Girls Band in the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah.
And, of course, I thank you for that wonderful rendition of the pledge. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself performing the pledge in your style or reciting it in your style, and take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, and either send it to me via email, or you can share it according to the venerable Buddy Weiser. You can share it to me at fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get our headline sponsor out of the way. Tonight is Tuesday, so therefore it is the Institute on the Constitution. The Institute on the Constitution was established in 2004 as a 501c3 nonprofit with one singular mission, and that is to restore the constitutional republic through grassroots education. All courses and materials are developed using primary source documents and taught from the American view of law and government as defined in the Declaration of Independence in the following 3 key points. 1, there is a God. 2, our rights come from him. And 3, the purpose of civil government is to secure and protect our God-given rights. The IOTC offers the opportunity to educate yourself on our most precious founding document, the Constitution of the United States. They also provide tools to educate your community and get involved with local government. Start by taking their free U.S. Constitution course and go from there. Use my affiliate link, iotc.americanperspective.online, to sign up. And while you are there, take a moment to look through their other course material and information. My affiliate link, once again, is iotc.americanperspective.online to get great content to learn about our historical founding and support the show in the process. That's iotc.americanperspective.online. Or if you just want to purchase this wonderful book with the sexy rounded corners, that's going to stir up your mother-in-law's opinions. It'll also stir up a bunch of Democrat opinions, too. All you need to do is head off to constitution.americanperspective.online. It's got, as my Whiskey Warrior P1s over on Rumble are saying, it's got sexy rounded corners. Take a look at this thing. It's got 1/8 of an inch of Saddleback leather wrapped around pages that are water and tear resistant. No cheap glue here for the binding, folks. This is stitched all the way through the leather. You can see it right there, all the way through the leather in the pages contained within. It's got a 100-year warranty against the materials and manufacturing defects, such that the manufacturer basically says that any time in the next 100 years, if you have a problem, you can send it back to them and they will either fix it or replace it for free. It is Buddy tested, Buddy approved, Billy tasted, Billy approved. My youngest Whiskey Warrior has confirmed that the information contained within will help you to acquire your civics badge in Scouts. It'll also help you with that civics test. I'm telling you. Right here. Get it. Put it in your pocket. Carry it with you. You know what? Maybe that's something that we'll do out on the Bourbon Trail. Is we'll see how many people carry this. We'll do it like a check of we'll go Constitution check or something like that. And then if you don't have one, then yeah, you can hang your head in shame. Anyway, go to constitution.americanperspective.online and get yours today. And, of course, check out the rest of the Institute on the Constitution's offerings, as they have some wonderful books and information that is available to you. Go and check that out today. And I thank them for allowing me to be a brand affiliate. Oh, goodness. Well, we've had some new information come out with regards to some long-time conspiracy theories. Okay? Just saying. And they're no longer conspiracy theories. They're actually conspiracies. Actually, they're more spoiler alerts. Nowadays, you can't call them spoiler alerts because pretty much everybody should, at this point, be on board. Of course, the Democrat morons, even not the Democrats, but everybody who's a Democrat is a moron pretty much at this point. for believing in any of these, or not believing, depending upon which way the conspiracy goes for it. But anyway, I'll get into that in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you there was a poll that came out with regards to Trump's approval rating. Now, this is one of the things that the Democrat, leftist, lunatic morons have been pushing. They're all saying, oh, yeah, Trump's approval rating is taking a dive. It's taking a dive. And, all of these things. Well, yeah, not according to this poll. This Insider Advantage poll, it was conducted. It was a survey that was conducted between August 15th and August 17th. It has a margin of error of about 3.1% margin of error, which for those of you that don't know, the greater the margin of error, the more likely the poll is to be off. But even so, I mean, even if you took the margin of error of 3% and shifted those numbers, it's still showing that Trump's approval rating has surged. And all of this, of course, is post the summit in Alaska. Well, according to Insider Advantage, again, the approval rating of President Trump's job performance has hit 54%. The disapproval rating is 44%. Now, even if you took 3% as the margin of error, the worst that Trump could be is at 51%. And that would mean that the disapproval would be about 47%. So he's still above water in this poll. He's still above water in this poll. Now, what's fun about this poll is that all voters who responded that were under the age of 65 approve of Donald Trump. Older voters, yeah, not so much. So, yeah. Donald Trump, according to this poll, now has an advantage among every age group other than the most senior of voters. He has improved his numbers among African Americans and Hispanic Latinos. White voters are at a near record 64% of that. Voters, again, under the age of 65, now approve of his job performance by wide margins. It's only the nation's oldest voters who actually disapprove of his job performance, which is consistent with prior surveys that Insider Advantage has done. And overall, his approval numbers are surging upwards after that summit in Alaska. So apparently the older voters, and I'm talking about people who are 65 years of age and older, they are having some troubles with him, and I don't understand why. I mean, well, I don't really understand why anybody would sit here and say that his approval, his job approval, not his, personal life approval, not his approval as to whether or not you would hang out with the guy in a bar. Okay. It would be, it would essentially be a job approval rating, and he has been doing a fantastic job. There's not a lot that the Democrats can even really talk about with this, is that, anyway. So, yeah, I can tell you there's at least one person I know of who is over the age of 65 who does actually approve of him. So, I don't know who they were talking to, but whatever. Anyway, sorry, took a drink. My mouth was a little dry. Well, let's start talking about some of these quote unquote conspiracies. This first conspiracy that really is much, much recent has to deal with the fact that DC's crime was falling, which we all know it wasn't. DC's crime falling, please. Anyway, Eric Swalwell, that's right. The bang bang of Fang Fang himself. The man who banged the Chinese spy and claims that Trump is a Russian spy. Well, yeah, he has no idea. Anyway, apparently, he went on X and he posted about a fatal shooting in D.C. on the same day that Trump announced the whole idea of taking over D.C., the initiative on it, over it. And, well, Eric Swalwell, not being the smartest person in the world, went ahead and posted on X that Trump owns it. Trump owns what? He hadn't implemented anything yet. All he did was just announce the idea that he was going to. But instead, what Eric Swalwell was trying to say was that the takeover of D.C. was going to crash, essentially, and that Trump was going to crash and burn on all of this. Anyway, it just yeah, he's a moron. Yep, he is literally a moron, and we all know that he's a moron. But the funny thing is that Doug Powers calls out the Dems on X. He was like, the Dems keep saying crime in D.C. is really rare these days, and federal intervention is unnecessary. And then, of course, 2 hours later, Eric Swalwell's post comes out and says, all this crime in D.C. is now Trump's fault. Yeah, really. Anyway. Again, keep in mind that shooting was prior to any implementations of any of the new measures. And Swalwell, of course, once again, drew attention for appearing to acknowledge the existence of a crime problem in the city, at the same time trying to lay it at Trump's feet. Yeah. That's not the case. So, anyway, Jamie Raskin, who's another complete, utter freaking moron, he basically was like, hey, you know what? Yeah, there's a public safety problem in D.C., but really, who do you trust to fix it? Do you trust Donald Trump or the people who run D.C.? Honestly, is considering the fact that D.C. is a public safety nightmare before Trump took over, yeah, I'd be saying it's time to change. It's time to do something different. And that would be the case of, yeah, I want Trump to take care of it. So, yeah. Anyway, even Joe Scarborough, who is on the MSLSD, or also known as MSNBC, or will soon be known as MS Now, NOW. Yeah, he said on his program Morning Joe that some Democrats privately supported Trump's action, recognizing the need for additional law enforcement resources. You remember we discussed that and all of that. So, yeah. Anyway. Oh, these people. I'm just telling you, these people. Well, Eric Swalwell isn't the only one who does his own cell phones. You remember that conversation or that story that I told you about yesterday about that driver, that commercial driver's license illegal alien doing an illegal turn on a Florida turnpike after he's had a California CDL, killed a family of 3 in the process. Well, Gavin Newsom tries, his office, let's say. Okay, I don't think this necessarily was Gavin Newsom himself, but I would imagine his office was trying to do spin control. And they attempted to deflect blame from the Democrats from it. And yeah, he his press office went ahead and put up a post. And this post was essentially attempting to try and tie Trump to the office. Or to the problem. And yeah. Anyway, the post and the graphic that they posted on X states research consistently shows that issuing driver's licenses for undocumented people improves public safety. Yeah. And then they go and they say, who was president in 2019? Or sorry, 2018, the post reads. Well, except there's only one problem. The Trump White House went ahead and responded. And this is the thing, folks. This is the thing. Driver's licenses are issued by the state. Okay. They are issued by the state. Driver's licenses do not have really federal jurisdiction necessarily, except for rules with regards to commercial driver's license. For an example, one of them is that the commercial driver's license, you need to be able to speak English. Pretty simple. Read it and speak it. Well, anyway, Newsom also served as lieutenant governor, even though he's trying to blame this on Trump, but he served as lieutenant governor prior to running for governor in 2018. And that, of course, was when the illegal alien entered the United States. It's also possible that Newsom was the governor at the time that the illegal alien obtained the CDL. But the post and the conversation about it had to deal with the whole idea that Newsom's office admitted that they ignored their own law when they gave the criminal illegal alien a CDL. So, yeah. Just these people, oh my gosh. And by the way, Newsom's people didn't bother to respond out of this. Yeah. So, anyway, they tried to blame his entry on Trump, which, let's be honest, that's California. So, yeah. Anyway. Okay. So, these people are just so freaking. Yeah. Well, that's a cell phone for sure. All right. Yeah, let's see. Do I want to do this before? Yeah, we'll do this. Let's go ahead and move on to another one of the Moron files. That's right. This is a moron, a literal moron. Oh, my gosh. And unfortunately, it's from the sister city here in the Pacific Northwest. This is down in Oregon, Portland, Oregon. Yeah, it's oh, this woman. So let me set the stage for you. They're in a dog park. Okay. And the dog park, essentially the area of the dog park that they are in is a leash free or off leash area. Okay. And it's a popular spot, obviously. Well, this woman apparently has a bit of a problem with this guy's dogs. In particular, this guy's dogs appear to be, or at least she thought, this woman thought, that they were purebred. Now, realistically, I mean, it doesn't matter whether the dogs were purebred or not. But this is how crazy these morons can get. Okay? Now, you really got to listen to not the fact that, not what she was going after in terms of the animals, but just listen to what she associates. I swear, TDS, and that's Trump Derangement Syndrome, is real. It is entirely real. So let me see. Get on over there.
You're an unethical piece of shit.
Oh, yeah?
Kills dogs because he has to have his bred dogs.
Me?
Yes! You bought those dogs, didn't you?
No.
You didn't adopt them. You didn't save their lives. You don't care about them. You don't care about anyone but
Dude,
yourself.
you are crazy, lady.
Get away from me then. Get away from me.
You walked up to me.
Go away from me. This guy won't leave me alone. Help me. Help me. This guy won't leave me alone. And he is saying that I said something racist when I absolutely did not.
You did.
Please help me. I did not say anything
Who
to
are you,
this guy.
who are
Please
you
get away
talking
from
to?
me. Help me. Help me, please. Please get this guy away from me. A doctor,
Dude,
stop. Go away.
you need medication, lady.
You need to get away from me.
Go that way. Go that way.
No, you won't.
You want to attack me?
Go.
If you touch me, I will knock you out. You attack me, I have a right to defend myself.
Okay, let's do this, buddy. Get away from me now. This guy is harassing me.
You,
He said that
I have
was
lots of
racist.
film,
No,
lady.
I did not say anything racist at all.
Go away
whatsoever.
from me, lady.
Go away from me. Go away. Go away. I'm trying to get by, and this guy won't let me by.
Go by.
I'm trying to get by.
Go by. I have I have everything you said before. I have it all on video, lady.
I have it all on video too.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You need to go away. I let you by.
Go
Go.
away too. You need to adopt those shop. Look at this guy. Look at his bred dogs. Look at what an unethical piece of shit this guy
That's
is.
his mom.
He has to have bred dogs because he has a small penis. He has no freaking.
Isn't
he
this
has
lady amazing?
No integrity.
You are
He is a
mentally
horrible
ill.
person with
You
no
are mentally
integrity
ill, lady.
And no fucking ethics at all whatsoever.
You are mentally.
All right, so I played about half of the. Yeah. Oh my God. You know, I honestly, I have no idea where these people, where do these people come from? I'm floored by this. I can't. Ugh. You know, this is part of the reason why I don't go into the city of Seattle or the city of Portland or any of these. You know, obviously there was an incident or some kind of an incident, because that's one thing about videotaping with your phones or whatever. There is no way that you're going to capture the entire start. So there's no real way to know what it was that triggered this woman. But I'm still trying to figure out who cares whether he has purebred dogs or not? I mean, he obviously is claiming that they're not purebred, but who cares if he does? If they're well-mannered, if they're doing what they're supposed to do, I mean, see, and she's carrying something in her hand. I don't know. I can't really tell if it's a leash in her hand, or what. But she's in a dog park. So you would expect being in a dog park, and especially in the off-leash area of the dog park, that you're going to encounter dogs that are off-leash. Again, I'm failing to see the point in all of this, that the dog, who cares if it's purebred or not? I have more of a problem with people who don't train their dogs. I have a problem with those, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, in my experience, I've interacted with a lot of bigger dogs. I've interacted with a lot of smaller dogs. And the small dogs, I'm going to tell you, especially the ones that they walk around, you know, they're like the little teacup ones, or they call them the purse dogs. I mean, again, I maintain on this show, anything under 30 pounds is not a dog. But all of that being said, those little teacup dogs, they, Chihuahuas, even little Shih Tzus and Pomeranians and all those little ass dogs, those dogs are less trained more often than not than a bigger dog is, because for some reason the size of the dog seems to matter. So, yeah, but to sit here and she's talking, and apparently, by the way, too, she actually accuses the guy of being a Trump supporter. I don't know where she can get that idea, just off of their conversation, and that he supports ICE because he has what she believes is purebred dogs. I mean, these people have a mental problem. And as I've shown you on this program, more often than not, when you talk to a leftist lunatic like this, they typically will say clearly, that will pull out the idea that, yeah, I've been diagnosed as having a mental illness. Yeah. Anyway, apparently, according to some information that has since come out since the post went viral, which I don't even know. I mean, definitionally, I don't know what's viral and what isn't, but apparently since this post and this video has gone viral, she has now been identified to work for what is called the Oregon Health Sciences University, or OHSU. That, by the way, is a health sciences, it's a research hospital kind of network. Okay. But anyway, her identity has been apparently identified, or has been determined by some online users. And and her name has not been released publicly by any news outlets. Some observers noticed that the confrontation included derogatory language and personal attacks that were clearly based on political affiliation. In the video, the woman can be heard connecting the man's alleged political views to his dog ownership. What? Yeah, anyway. Okay. Now, again, as many of my Whiskey Warrior P1s have been pointing in the chat, she had the opportunity to turn around and walk the other way. I mean, it's like he was backing up at one point in the video. I know the audio portion of the listening audience is not going to be able to understand what was going on. They were in a relatively open spaced area. I mean, there were some fencing, some small low fencing to try and keep the dogs on the trail rather than letting them just run off into the woods. But, it was wide enough that the two of them could have passed each other with at least a couple of feet between them. She kept approaching him and essentially getting in his face, even though he was backing up, attempting to put more space in between her and him in case she decided to take it a bit further, which you heard at one point. He was saying that he was saying, hey, if you attack me, I have the right to defend myself. And at one point, he even got to a certain point in the trail where he could actually move 90 degrees away from her and allow her to pass, even though she was complaining about not being able to pass. Yeah. Anyway, this is just, these people, I'm just telling you, these people are just horrible. Now, at least according to the article, Oregon Health Sciences University has not issued a public statement regarding the matter. And it's unclear whether or not the institution is going to take any action in connection to the incident. No law enforcement response was reported to have been called to the scene. But anyway, so this is just, aren't you guys done with this? I know I'm done with this. This is totally freaking nuts. This is totally freaking nuts. And these people are just crazy. They are totally crazy. So, anyway, I don't know. They're just out there. And they're all over social media and everything else. I mean, again, now, definitely not Karen did a wonderful statement up here. He said 25% of liberals are being treated for a mental illness, which is scary because that means that 75% of them are walking around untreated. I would guess she was probably one of the untreated ones. I'm telling you, people. I mean, seriously, if you encounter somebody like this, your best bet is to just walk away and get out of the area as quickly as you can. It just has no. I saw another video, and I don't have it with me, but I saw another video of these two gentlemen in the Northeast. I think it was New Hampshire. I could be wrong. I don't want to name the state necessarily 100%, but they were up in the Northeast. I do know that much. And they were sitting at a coffee shop. Now, obviously, again, the video does not show the initial interaction, which caused all of this. But there's this older guy. He's obviously in his probably upper 50s to, maybe upper 60s. Just going to guess. And he's going off on these two people who essentially are sitting outside. They are looking to drink their coffee. Now, what did the man's problem? What did he have a problem with? He had a problem apparently with a conversation that the two of them were having inside the coffee shop with regards to Trump and his policies and apparently a little bit of politics. Well, this guy apparently has had his social media accounts attacked, per se, by what he calls conservatives. He claims to have been threatened by conservatives, that conservatives are saying that they're going to go and put him under the ground, whatever. And it's not these two. So let's just make that clear. He kept referring to his phone and saying, well, you guys are just like these guys, these people, blah, blah, blah. It's like, first of all, dude, and they kept telling him, they're like, wait, we did that? No, we didn't do that. What? We're not. They didn't even know the guy. He was just a stranger, and he comes walking up and just starts yelling at him. And apparently he even spit on them at one point, which in pretty much more than not, more states than not, that's actually considered assault by doing that. But anyway, I'm telling you, these people are nuts. They're just totally crazy. It's totally crazy. And you need to make sure that if you happen to be out and about and one of these people, one of these types of people approach you, yeah, better off just getting away from them. All right. I haven't done one of these in a while. Let's go ahead and kick this one off before I give you my next story. I wake up every morning with a 16-ounce cup of coffee. I have to. I get up freaking early here on the West Coast. For you East Coasters, it's late, but for us West Coasters, yeah, that's early. What am I talking about? I'm talking about being up by, 5:30 in the morning. Well, I have to have my coffee to get my blood running and so on and so forth. One way that you can do this is by trying 1775 coffee. And if you still haven't tried it, now's your shot. The 1775 coffee starter kit has just dropped. There are a small, limited number of units available. Inside each starter kit, you're going to get a bold dark roast that hits hard. You'll also get to try the smooth medium roast, as well as their Vitality Mushroom Coffee, which is for clean energy and laser focus with no crash. You can try all of them. They are all single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and mold-free. Plus, you're also getting, my favorite, a gold spoon clip, because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. You're also going to get a frother that is strong enough to stir up not only your coffee, but your mother-in-law's opinions, good or bad. And you'll be receiving a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for just a low, low price of $99. This is for the ones who have been watching 1775 coffee blow up on Rumble and wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com. That's the numbers 1775, the word coffee, altogether, all one word, .com, / that's your question mark key, studio, STUDIO, and grab your starter kit before they are gone. That's 1775coffee.com / studio, STUDIO, and you'll get your starter kit there. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. Go to 1775coffee.com / studio and grab your starter kit today. All right. See, even my closed captioning is got that / in there. All right. Well, you remember how the right and conservatives were talking about cancel culture, in particular, especially things like banks canceling conservatives, and how the left kept saying, oh, no, that's not happening. And, of course, quietly saying, but it's good that it is. Anyway, well, guess what? There's a new story out today. Now, this is from Fox News. Apparently, there are some bank executives that have now blown the whistle on the fact that Obama and the Biden admins pressured them to debank or refuse service to conservatives. That's right. And this, of course, is in the wake of President Trump's executive order outlawing the debanking. Major bank executives told Fox News Digital that they were under pressure from the Obama and Biden administrations to deny services to individuals and businesses for political reasons. A senior banking executive told Fox News Digital, quote, those pressures were very, very real. When your regulator gives you a suggestion, it's not a suggestion, it's an order. The political stuff is very real. Those pressures are very real. So debanking often refers to the practice of banks closing accounts and denying services to individuals or businesses, often with no explanation. The practice originated as a part of federal anti-money laundering laws and regulations. An entity can be debanked after its transactions are marked suspicious, but in recent years, conservative and religious groups have accused the banks of discriminating against them for their beliefs. Yeah. So there we go. Really? They got debanked. Yeah. The executive said that the ambiguity in federal laws was exploited by regulators, I mispronounced that, by regulators under the Obama and Biden administrations in order to pursue political objectives. According to one executive, banks were pressured to deny services to certain industries as a part of, quote, Operation Choke Point and Operation Choke Point 2.0. And you think a digital currency with the ability of banks to see every single transaction that you make, the idea of getting rid of paper money is a good thing. And yet here, they don't even have that ability just yet. But they have the ability, apparently, to debank you. Thankfully, this show and my overarching ownership organization does not bank with one of those banks. I specifically went around that to make sure. Anyway, a House Oversight Committee report found that Operation Choke Point, which was a DOJ task force whose aim was to choke out legal companies disfavored by the Obama administration. You know, I seem to recall the Obama administration also using the IRS to go after religious groups and nonprofit organizations that he didn't like. So, anyway, yeah. And of course, keep an eye and keep paying attention to, of course, to the idea of the firearms sales. That's going to be another thing. If you think that a digital currency is going to be a good thing, keep in mind, they're going to be able to have records of everything that you do. If everything goes over to digital currency and cash is no longer available, that's going to be a bit of a problem, because then you'll have essentially trackable records. And if you don't think that it's not already being done, there's databases that have been built off of your purchasing. Just think of all those wonderful little key cards, those little keychain cards that you get from all of your grocery stores and everything else that give you special coupons, like $10 off some item that you purchase on a regular basis just to keep you coming back. If you don't think all of your purchasing habits are not being tracked by Amazon or by any of these other places, I mean, just think about it. Social media is tracking everything that you post online and giving you, through their algorithms, giving you suggested content. Just imagine what'll happen with a digital currency that tracks every single one of your purchases. What you buy, where you buy, how often you buy, where you buy from. Well, I think that covers by where you buy. But anyway, if you think that any of this is really a good idea, no, not at all. All right. Real quick, small break. I got to say hello to Landon. Who's a good boy, Landon? Who's a good boy? Anyway, we'll see if he flipped his ears up at that. For those of you that don't know, Landon is one of the dogs of one of my Whiskey Warrior P1s, and he occasionally comes in and settles down and listens to the show. So I got to say hello to him when that happens. Anyway, so continuing on with the idea of conspiracies and conspiracy theories, okay, what about, because we haven't really heard a lot about the whole COVID thing here recently. Seems to have just disappeared, kind of off the map. I mean, yes, they talk about a COVID, this COVID variant is going to be worse than the last COVID variant, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? There's a Swiss study that just came out that has found, apparently, that the more COVID boosters you have, you actually are increasing your influenza-like illness risk. So a study that was posted or published out of the Communications Medicine publication, Nature publication, this study had 1,745 Swiss healthcare workers that they tracked over several months in 2023 and 2024. This adds support, by the way, to another published study from the Cleveland Clinic Research back from 2022 that had 51,000 employees that were being tracked. Both of these studies have confirmed that there is an association of increased risk of getting sick with the higher number of times that you've been boosted with mRNA vaccine doses. Now, I'm just going to point this out. My wife and I were talking when we were in the tail end of the pandemic. We were talking about it because we had several people around us who went and got a whole bunch of boosters. And it always seemed like these people were continually sick. Like they would get sick at the drop of a hat. And it was an anecdotal observation. Well, now we have some studies, some longitudinal studies that are actually proving, or at least attempting to prove, that observation was pretty well spot on. So the study itself says these findings suggest that COVID-19 boosters may not offer clear short-term benefits in a post-pandemic setting, and it may even increase short-term illness risk. The study says The study also is cautioning against routinely boosting this low risk group of young to middle-aged healthy individuals because there may not be a clear risk-benefit threshold. Okay, now I can tell you this much. Even with the standard flu shot, all right? Even with the standard flu shot, when I was getting them on a regular basis because I needed to, all right, I would get sick because of the flu shot. Well, I stopped taking the flu shots because they were voluntary. They're voluntary. I mean, they're not like, a required immunization, but they're voluntary. And since then, it is, I won't say it doesn't happen because it does. I do get sick, but it seems like my illnesses are very few and far between in the course of a year. In fact, I think the last 3 or 4 years, I've only gotten sick once out of the year, and that the time that I'm actually down is shorter. Now, keep in mind, I am not necessarily attesting that to the fact that don't go and get your flu shot. If you're a high-risk group, if you're in a high-risk situation and you've talked it over with your doctor, you absolutely should go and get immunized appropriately. But what I'm simply saying is that my particular lifestyle and the way that I live and the vitamins that I take, because I do take vitamins every day, right along with my coffee every morning. I take vitamins for stuff. And all of that, I think, adds up to the fact that I've been pretty lucky, knock on wood, with getting sick. But here we are with all of this. And, so, again, I don't know. But, so there you go. There's a few others that are talking about flu vaccine effectiveness, which can, by the way, swing wildly between seasons because they basically, what they do, just so you understand, when they create this flu vaccine, they just take a guess as to what the flu is actually going to do that year, and they try and build up stockpiles of this vaccine against that one flu. And if they don't anticipate correctly, you go and get the flu shot, and then you still get sick because the vaccine isn't effective against the mutation that came out the last time. So, all right. And I want to point out that, hey, once again, not that I'm necessarily, jumping into the bandwagon that this guy is all that honest, but once again, I've been saying, the Epstein files, it's sort of questionable. And even if there was anything questionable with regards to Donald Trump and the Epstein files, okay, it wouldn't matter much anyway. Well, former Attorney General Bill Barr was the first to testify in front of the House committee with regards to the Epstein investigation. And he reportedly said that Barr, quote, never saw any evidence suggesting Trump committed a crime. This is according to a source that's familiar with the deposition. Barr further said, and this one I'm in agreement with him on this one, Barr further said that if such incriminating evidence existed, the Biden Justice Department would have surely released it. Lefties, leftist, lunatic morons sitting here trying to make the Epstein files into something bigger than what it actually is. Okay? I'm just simply saying that chances are whatever is in the Epstein files has already been pretty much released, at least most of the juicy stuff. Any of the other stuff, it's all going to be mundane, kind of average. I mean, there's no way that the Biden administration in particular and the Department of Justice, just look at how the Democrats leaked like a sieve with everything that was going on. Shoot, Adam Schiff was like leaking information on purpose. Well, he's been accused of it. But still, the point being is that, come on. If there was really any there, it would have already been there in the public eye. So, yeah. Now, keep in mind that Bill Barr and Donald Trump have had an estranged relationship after the two had disagreed on whether or not the 2020 presidential election outcome was actually legitimate. I should say legitimate. So Barr, again, was the first person to take questions from the committee on Monday. On the way into the hearing room, he did not answer any reporter questions. He told the committee that he stood by the conclusion that Epstein's death was a suicide. So, yeah. House Oversight Chairman James Comer also has subpoenaed several other former attorneys general, as well as former President Bill Clinton and his wife, twice losing presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, the former Secretary of State. And they are set to go before the committee in October. So, yeah. There you go. Once again, Epstein, not a big deal. I don't think it was. It's sort of like John Bolton. Okay, when the whole thing came out about Trump and saying, calling the World War II veterans suckers and losers and stuff, Bolton even came out and said, yeah, I've never seen that, never heard that. I mean, and Bolton was like staunchly, and he still is, staunchly against Trump. Yeah. So anyway. Well, here's another conspiracy that the left was wrong on. And by this, I mean the social justice warriors who wanted to get rid of, because it was insulting, get rid of the logo and the name Washington Redskins for the NFL team. Well, guess what? The family of the man whose likeness inspired the Redskins logo, yeah, they're calling for the team to bring his proud image back. Yeah, leftists, not everybody wants to cancel icons such as Aunt Jemima, the Washington Redskins logo, Land O'Lakes butter. Let's see, who else? Who else have they tried to cancel? Nobody wants this coming from the family. The family. Okay? Thomas Whitecalf penned a persuasive letter demanding that the team honor his uncle once again. And the fans of the Washington Commanders, who long for the return of the team's former name and logo, got a big boost from the family. Yeah. So the team, of course, just to remind everybody, the team, of course, caved to activist pressure to drop the name and the logo in July of 2020 over accusations that both had racist connotations. What a bunch of bullshit. This family, it was done very respectfully. If you listen to the entire history of how this came about, okay? This entire thing, according to Thomas Whitecalf, the team was named after his late uncle Two Guns Whitecalf, who was a chief of the Blackfeet tribe. Thomas told the New York Post the storied history of his uncle and called for the team to restore the name to honor his family in the Native American community. Whitecalf defended tribal traditions in our Blackfeet homeland in Montana, where many of us still live today, Thomas wrote. He went to Washington, D.C., where he forced the U.S. government to honor Indian treaties. He served as a model for the U.S. Mint's famous 1913 Indian head nickel. Whitecalf's face is still a collector's item. Thomas Whitecalf said his uncle was friends with Teddy Roosevelt Jr. and made President Calvin Coolidge a member of the Blackfeet Nation. His death in 1934 was front-page news. He went on to criticize the left-wing movement that led to the removal of his uncle's visage from the team logo. He said Whitecalf became the proud warrior face of the Redskins in 1972, championed by Blackfeet leader Blackie Wetzel, and with support of Native Americans across the country. Cancel culture racists decided at some point they wanted to get rid of Indian images in the public domain. The Redskins and Two Guns were their #1 target. White Calf's name was dropped from the Redskins narrative. His life story was erased from history, Thomas says. Even worse, Uncle Two Guns was dehumanized. He was ridiculed as a savage and clownish mascot. Yeah. He's leftist. These people. Well, one last thing before I head off. Apparently, the Anti-Defamation League has decided to raise its head, its ugly head, and has decided to call America First a hate term. So now if you say America First, you're now perpetuating hate, according to the Anti-Defamation League, which is really on the side of hate. Anyway. What a freaking mess. Oh my gosh. These people, I'm just telling you, they're nuts. Every single one of them, they're nuts. These are conspiracies and conspiracy theories that, unfortunately, sometimes have come true. All right, folks, that is it for me for this evening. Do me a favor. If you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com, get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are signed up and signed in, and make sure that you search up the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified every time I go live. Also, too, don't forget to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on your way out, whichever way you want to go, and across all my platforms, whether it's X, YouTube, Facebook, or, of course, the aforementioned Rumble. Tomorrow night is Whiskey Wednesday. We also normally have Pet of the Week. I don't have a Pet of the Week. If you have one, please send it in so that I can get Pet of the Week, because it's a fan favorite. Anyway, we will see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.